G'day, Russell here, Prime Motion Training. It's been some time since I've recorded a video like this, and the reason for that is we've spent the last 3 months creating a brand new course to help AFP applicants with the new AFP entrance exam. So if you're thinking about applying to join the Australian Federal Police, this video is for you. Alright, so we'll do a comparison between the old format and the new AFP entrance exam format. We'll discuss whether or not I think we're better off as AFP applicants with the new exam, or maybe worse off. And of course, if you need some help to prepare for this new format, I'll point you in the right direction as to where you can get some help if that's something you're interested in. Alright, let's get into a comparison to start with. Okay, so for quite some time AFP has been using the Australian Council of Education Research, or ACER, to conduct their entrance exams. And the old ACER format would involve sections like abstract reasoning, emotional intelligence, literacy skills, numeracy skills, and a written assessment. Now, other states also use ACER, and that was a fairly comprehensive exam. But they've moved away from ACER now. Mid-2024, they've gone with a new organisation called Talent Central. Now, you won't find a whole lot out there, which is why it's taken us almost 3 months to come up with a brand new course where we could create specific questions based on the new parts of this entrance exam now. So let's have a look at those components. Interestingly, the first one is a personality questionnaire in an exam. Now, people would often think of this as psychometric testing. It's not really a test as such. As the name suggests, it's a personality questionnaire or a survey. They're just trying to profile your personality type and put you into a box. Now, this doesn't mean that you won't have to do a one-on-one interview with a psychologist. You'll still have to do that, but it comes later in the application process. So this is the first component of the new format. The second is deductive reasoning. Now that just simply means problem solving, but that's a pretty broad term as well. There's lots of problem solving exams out there, but this particular component focuses in on one type of question that repeats throughout the component. Now when I say repeats, it's obviously not the same question, but it's the same type of question. And that is where you're given a number of people who have schedules and commitments and so on. Maybe you're looking at a calendar, for example, and your job or your problem that you need to solve is to find a time where all of those people can meet based on their current commitments. Now, there might also be other resources that you need to take into account. For example, you may need to organise a projector or book a meeting room. And you've got to be able to problem solve, how am I going to find a time slot where all of these things can come together where everyone's available. So that's the type of deductive reasoning question that you'll have to contend with. And again, we've got a heap of practice ones in our new exams. The next one is inductive reasoning. Now, this is probably not a term that most people would be familiar with, but like in the old exam, you probably are familiar with the term abstract reasoning. Inductive reasoning is basically the same as abstract reasoning. It involves problem solving by looking at patterns and shapes, trying to identify sequences, or trying to organize things into a logical order. So very similar to what you might expect in abstract reasoning, but it does differ from the old ACER version of abstract reasoning. So that's inductive reasoning. Now the last one, the fourth component, so there's 4, not 5 now, so I guess one less is maybe better for applicants, but the next one is numerical calculation. Now this is very different to what we experienced with the ACER exam. The ACER exam had a broad range of topics under numerical reasoning. For example, you had ratio questions, fractions, percentages, multiplications and additions and so on. You might have to work out percentages or interest payments based on a car loan, for example. Now this is very different now. They've done away with all of that, and now they've got not so much basic calculations, but the calculations that you need to do, I guess I would call them in a long string. So you might have in one long calculation, you need to do a subtraction, work out the square root of something, identify what's within the brackets. So it's really about making sure you're competent and confident using the order of operations principles, and you know which calculations to do first and which ones need to come later. If you do the calculations in the wrong order, there's just no way you're going to end up with the right answer. Now, at the end of doing those calculations, there's also a percentage that has to be determined based on relationships with the numbers that are presented in the question. So a little bit to do there, but once you've got the order of operations down pat and you're confident about working out percentages, we should be able to answer these questions with a little bit of practice. Now, of course, our new course has tutorial video lessons to teach all of these formulas anyway. Okay, so that's a quick overview of the two. Now, a little surprised there's no literacy skills or written tasks that need to be done, given that police officers are constantly writing statements, taking witness statements, preparing briefs of evidence, and so on. That writing task is something I was expecting to be included in this new exam. It's not. So how does that fare? New for old, I suppose. I think applicants are probably better off with the new format exam if you are thinking about applying to join AFP. All right, the last point I need to make I think is really important and could catch some AFP applicants off guard. And that is that AFP's website suggests that you don't go looking for practice exams out there on the internet because there are lots of different types of exams. And that's very true. The old ACER format's very different to the new Talent Central format for AFP applicants. Be careful not to assume that that means you don't need to prepare. We're going to give you all the tips that you need. Well, the tips are questionable to say the least, and you should be preparing. And of course, as you know, we offer preparatory courses for police applicants. So if you want to prepare yourself, we can help you with very specific questions for the new format and tutorial lessons that I've created to teach you how to answer those questions. So you'll learn how to answer them, you'll get plenty of practice exams. If you're keen to get some help, you can always come and join us. Or as always, if you've got questions, just feel free to reach out. All right, well, I hope you found that helpful. Good luck if you're an AFP applicant. We'd love to help you with your preparation, and I hope to see you in our program soon.